Hello and welcome to News 360. We are live from the News app here in Accra. My name is Hisamoni.
I'm Natalie Ford. To look at the top stories this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxe Paint, Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Premier Health Insurance, Calipo, and Nido Fortigro. Your love, their future.
Former British USB banker Kweku Adoboli, convicted for causing the biggest trading loss in British banking history, to be deported to Ghana tomorrow, Tuesday, September 18.
Limited voter registration resumes at Chirponi.
Also ahead this evening, increasing concerns over deplorable nature of the Eastern Corridor Road worsened by the onset of rains. In business this evening, Chairman of the Ghana Spare Parts Association blames depreciation of the cedi on repatriation of profits by multinational companies. On the foreign front tonight, flooding across Nigeria kills more than 100 people. Stay with us here on News 360. We bring you the details of these stories and some more news. As always, our bulletin streams live all across the world on 3news.com. Now, Miriam is standing by at the reality complex here at Adisa Way to bring you more on Ghana's Most Beautiful.
So with a very colorful and culturally rich event yesterday in the Oil City, the 10 finalists for this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful 2018 were officially outdoored for the world to see for the very first time. My name is Miriam Osei Ajiman, and I'm standing at the reality complex, awaiting to receive the 10 finalists who will compete in the 12th edition of this prestigious pageant. For the next 13 weeks, our 10 finalists will be living here. And trust me when I say it's fit for the Queen. They'll be here at a moment from now, but you can be sure that we'll bring you up to date of the arrival and, of course, going up to check how well the reality complex is fit to pamper them, to feed them, and to nurture them, and hopefully get them ready to wear the crown.
It certainly promises to be very exciting. Miriam Osei Ajman, they'll bring you more on Ghana's Most Beautiful 2018, some more on the bulletin here on News 360, also on our website, 3news.com. Let's get started with our very first story this evening. As former British USB banker Kweku Adoboli, convicted for causing the biggest trading loss in British banking history, is expected to be deported to Ghana on Tuesday. Kofi Adoboli today made a final attempt to prevent his imminent deportation a day later by filing for a judicial review, which was subsequently rejected by British authorities.
Adoboli, 38, had been held at Dungarvan Detention Centre in Scotland since September 3, but has been moved to a Heathrow Detention Centre as the Home Office pushed ahead with the deportation plans. Adoboli's solicitor, Jacqueline Mackenzie, told reporters at a news conference on Thursday that her client is due to be deported by chartered flight on Tuesday, September 18, to his native Ghana. This follows the rejection of his latest appeal by the British. Adoboli joined UBS's London office as a graduate trainee in September 2006. But after working for 2 years as a trading analyst in the bank's back office, he was promoted to a Delta One trading desk. In 2008, he became a director on the ETF desk, and by 2010, he was promoted to director with a total annual salary of almost £200,000. Beginning in 2008, Adoboli started using the bank's money for unauthorized trades. He entered false information into UBS's computers to hide the risky trades he was making. On September 14, 2011, Adoboli wrote an email to his manager admitting to booking false trades. His trades cost the bank £1.3 billion and wiped off £2.7 billion from its share price.
The idea was that we would go from number 9 to number 3. And position number 3, to be in position number 3, we would have to make $900 million of profit a year. As a result, we became proprietary traders. We basically took risk with the bank's money to generate profit for the bank.
The trading losses he incurred while trading for his banks were the largest unauthorized trading losses in British history. On September 15, 2011, Adobole was arrested by City of London police. He was charged with 2 counts of fraud by abuse of position and 4 counts of false accounting. He was in prison on remand until June 8, 2012, when he was granted bail subject to being electronically tagged and placed under curfew at a friend's house. On the morning of November 20, 2012, a jury at Southwark Crown Court unanimously found Adobole guilty on 1 count of fraud. He was incarcerated at Verney Prison in Dorset, Ford Prison in West Sussex, and Maidstone Prison in Kent, and released on June 2015. For starting a new life in a country he left as a teenager, Kofi Adobole admits will be tough.
The regulator knew 3 weeks later. The police didn't find out till a year later, right? And the regulator has had a weird role to play where they interviewed everyone, but they never interviewed me. And they sort of wrote their reports, but didn't make them public.
And now, President Akufo-Addo has urged the new Vice Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, to promote reconciliation in the university. Speaking at the investiture of Very Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afo-Broni, the President noted the ceremony is taking place on the heels of recent disturbing issues in the university. Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afo-Broni becomes the 4th Vice Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba. President Akufo-Addo indicated government has demonstrated its commitment to the growth of the university, adding government will help ensure University of Education Winneba fulfills its mandate. The President tasked the university together with others to prepare for challenges which will confront them when population of students seeking admission increases in 2 years as a result of the free senior high school policy. And right, this is a highly contestable issue, and Professor Atuguba is counsel for the embattled former Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, and he joins me via Skype in his base in Harvard, United States of America, on the induction ceremony which went on despite an interlocutory injunction. Prof, it's good to have you online. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Just one correction.
Yeah.
Last month, I withdrew my representation for the client. So on record, I'm not the counsel for the Vice Chancellor and his embattled colleagues anymore.
All right, all right. That's well understood. So, Prof, it's clear that the university and the President did not heed to the call. The event has taken place. What are your thoughts on it?
On these matters, I always try to put it in context. Otherwise, it's very easy to be misunderstood. Okay. When government changed hands in 2017, we witnessed a wave of removals of people from public offices, various public offices. I know an MP, a member of parliament, for example, who has kept a list of all the persons who have been removed. And he tells me that he's waiting for his party to come to power so that he would remove all those who have been placed in their stead. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But this in itself is not strange. It's not strange because it happens anytime a new government from a different political persuasion, from a different political party, comes into office. And we saw this happen in 2000, and we saw it happen in 2009. What is strange this time is that the removals are affecting a category of persons that I choose to call protected officers. These protected officers occupy offices that have been specifically protected by the 1992 Constitution. Our 1992 Constitution seeks to protect, for example, the judiciary. You can't just remove a judge from office. It seeks to protect the occupants of independent constitutional bodies, the Electoral Commission, the National Commission for Civil Education, the SHRAD, and so forth. And it also seeks to protect institutions of higher learning and research. Those are the words used in the Constitution, and this includes universities. And the reasons for this are obvious. Universities, for example, have to be protected from political influences and such removals in order to protect academic freedom, which is essential for democracy and essential for social progress. So the point is this, the point I'm trying to make is this, that if you touch these protected offices, then you touch the integrity of our Constitution and the integrity of our constitutional democracy. When you do that, you send a message to political parties in opposition, governments in waiting, that when they come to office, they are also entitled to remove persons from protected offices. And that, my brother, would be the end of our democracy.
All right. Prof, we're grateful for your time. We will get back to you. As the issue develops, I'm sure it will be a hot battle in court. Professor Raymond Atuguba right there speaking to us from his base at Harvard, United States of America.
Certainly, Issa. Let's turn to some other stories this evening as there are increasing concerns over the deplorable nature of the Eastern Corridor Road, which has worsened following the onset of the rains. The delay in executing the project has renewed doubts over government's commitment towards its completion. Here's reports by Evelyn Tingma.
This is common at Jumbocherry in the Volta region. Roads in communities including Bontibo, Bonache, Potripo No. 2, Jumbocherry, Tikoti, all in the Nkwanta South municipality are deplorable. Inhabitants here are predominantly farmers, with yam, maize and cassava being major crops they cultivate. Due to the bad nature of the roads, food crops are usually left to rot on the farms because owners of commercial vehicles refuse to ply. The Motor King are the only ones aiding farmers, but they also do not have it easy carrying produce to market centers, particularly during the raining season.
The road is terrible. We even struggle to get the farm produce here. We usually experience breakdown of our vehicle.
Passengers complain of hardship. We also don't get anything. Money to buy fuel is even a challenge.
The farmers say they do not have anything to show for their toil. All these tubers of yam go for 50 cedis at Bonache, a town in a Nkwanta South municipality.
Sometimes it takes 2 weeks before the car brings our goods to the market square. We are really suffering.
The bridge has collapsed as a result. We find it difficult to transport our farm produce to the various towns.
Farmers say they take loans, yet run at a loss. This is the state of the bridge at Bontibo. Lives definitely are at risk if immediate attention is not given to it. Most communities have been cut off as a result. Flood water and weeds had also taken a part of the road at Jumbocherry. Residents say a misunderstanding between inhabitants and drivers who had wanted to turn the town roads into the main road resulted in gunshots, where about 5 people were injured and hospitalized. The MP for Nkwanta South, Geoffrey Kinney, confirmed it.
The town roads and the community refused. It resulted to a fight, and the police commander, they came to talk to the people and promised them that they were going to take the matters up.
He contends he cannot fix the roads alone and asked government to intervene by completing the Eastern Corridor Road.
A lot of our road network has been flooded, and as a result of this, most of our communities have been cut off. As we speak now, a lot of farmers are suffering because they cannot transport their farm produce to the market centers. When they get sick, they have to transport themselves to the nearest health center. Is also a problem.
Until the roads here are reconstructed, residents will continue to wallow in abject poverty. Evelyn Tengma, TV3 News, in Nkwanta South, Volta Region.
On MTN Video Report tonight, our citizen journalist Emmanuel Gulabi reports on an uncompleted and abandoned senior high school building at Mampong community in the northern region.
The Namong Community Senior High School in Yunyu Nason District, formerly Bungrugu Yunyu District. This is the only school in the district that needs an urgent attention to cater for students within the communities in the districts. I am very, very sad to have seen this school starting 2014 up to date, that is still not complete. Students that hustle to get to far places to school. This could serve these communities around this district. Emmanuel Gulari, former student leader.
Well, Emmanuel Gulari putting his community, Namong Yunyo, on the map. So put yours also there by sending us a report. Send it to WhatsApp number on 055-1433-044.
You're watching News 360. We've got some more news coming up for you shortly. Stay with us. Hello, good evening, and thanks for staying with us on News 360. It's time for business with me, Nanekuya Mensah Brampa. The talk about the city continues, and the chairman of the Ghana Spare Parts Association, Clement Boateng, has blamed the rapid depreciation of the city on the repatriation of profits by multinational companies. He wants government to compel multinationals to retain at least 30% of their profits to reduce pressure on the dollar.
The recent blip on the foreign exchange market has resulted in the depreciation of the Ghana cedi against the dollar, with the dollar being exchanged for as high as 4 cedis 95 pesos. The central bank insists the situation is not out of control, while government argues the rate of depreciation is lower than in previous administrations. However, chairman of the Ghana Spare Part Dealers Association is suggesting the retention of some profits made by multinational companies.
Multinationals that we have in this country, like the Unilever, like the Telecos, at the end of the year, they make a repatriation of 100% of their profits back to their home country. And we don't think it is the best. At least there should be a policy that if they will have to repatriate maybe 70% and then they retain 30% here.
Some spare part dealers lament that the depreciation is fast eroding their profits.
It really reduces our profits. Because normally, when you change, let's say 10,000, and the next time you go, you must increase it and change it by maybe 12,000, 15,000.
I want on 1 cedi and never connect 5 cedi.
Imagine a product is sold at 1 cedi. When the wholesaler increases it to 5 cedi, you also have to increase your price.
In early July, spare part dealers expressed similar concerns. They say if the trend continues, they will have no option but to increase their prices.
And away from the talk about the city, 46-year-old Kumasi trader Isaac Anefi has been adjudged the overall winner of the Big Shave Win promo. Now, 70 others were presented with consolation prizes at the final draw in Kumasi.
The Big Shave and Win promo commenced in June and ended on August 3. Customers had to buy the Big Sensitive and Big Comfort Shaver to enter the competition. 44,900 entrants were received at the end of the promotion, which was intended to reward loyal customers.
For the past 2 years, we have seen a lot of participation from Ghanaians, and they've really patronized our product. So we felt that for the level of penetration that they've given to us and increase in our market share, we needed to give back something to the Ghanaians. And that was what has necessitated the promotion.
Isaac Anefi's number was drawn as the ultimate winner of a Suzuki Alto 200 saloon car. The surprised trader rushed from his Antoa Kenyasi home to the Kumasi Central Market for his prize. He said he only tried his luck with the least expectation of winning.
They told us we could win instant credit or a car. It's been long. I only remember buying one for myself and one for my brother.
The business development manager noted the Big Shaver is gender-friendly and for all types of skins.
This is called Big One Sensitive. And we have a Comfort 2, we have Big 3, and we have Flex 3. So the point is that this Big One Sensitive is a basic shaving stick, which is, we have a technology called nanotechnology. So it helps our product to get a sharper blade. For people who want to avoid bumps, they need a better cutting blade and they don't want bumps, it is better for them to use our product.
Big is a family-owned company and a world leader in stationery, lighters and shavers. For more than 60 years, Big has honored the tradition of providing high-quality, simple, inventive and reliable choices for everyone, everywhere, every time.
Right, so if you're still asking if fuel prices will go up, BDCs are selling to OMCs at a price increase of 5%. So there's more detail on 3news.com, but that will do for business tonight with me, Nanikia Mensah Brampa. Isa Hesmo.
Thank you, Nanikia. Let's do some more news tonight. And the limited voter registration has resumed at Chireponi in the northern region after the chief of the town had called for the exercise to be halted. According to the head of communication at the Electoral Commission, Eric Jakwasu, a District Security Council meeting has resolved the challenge to pave way for the exercise to continue.
The limited voter registration suffered a setback when the chief of Chireponi called for the halt of the process in the town. According to the chief, he does not want he and his people to lose their loyalty to the Dagbon tribe. The Dagbon tribe swears allegiance to the Yana who enskins the chief of Chireponi. There was a District Security Council meeting to resolve the problem.
There's a residential requirement. So you need to go to where you are resident permanently or ordinarily resident to register. So far it has been good, it has been orderly. Nothing untoward has happened except in Chireponi where we had some hitch, but that one too has been resolved by the DISEC and the exercise is going on smoothly now at Chireponi.
The registration is an opportunity for Ghanaians who have recently attained the voting age of 18 and adults who for various reasons could not register during the previous registration exercise in 2016. Phase 1, which is the Zone 1 registration, is made up of 47 districts demarcated for the December 27 referendum to create the 6 new regions. The OT area in the Volta region, the Western North in the Western region, the Savannah and Northeastern in the Northern region, as well as Bono East and Ahafo in the Bono Ahafo region.
What we are doing at the moment is that we are registering directly onto the VMS, which is installed in the district offices. So in effect, we are not sending the BVRs to the kids. So applicants are required to go to the district offices, apply, then you'll be registered there, and then you take your ID card. Then the data also goes immediately to hit the data center. That makes it online.
Phase 2 or Zone 2 will be after the exercise is completed.
Modalities and the time will be communicated in due course.
The voters register will be exhibited for people to verify their data in terms of names, age, polling station and polling codes. The law requires that on an annual basis, the Commission revises the voters register by undertaking a limited voter registration exercise.
Meanwhile, the Dagbon Traditional Council, at the instance of the paramount chief of the Trepone traditional area, Malabar Jaminja Kofi, has petitioned President Akufo-Addo protesting the inclusion of Trepone district in the proposed northeast region.
The petition stated that Trepone is an integral and inseparable part of Dagbon and will not be allowed to be added to any proposed new region. The petition recalled the unanimous resolution of the Dagbon Traditional Council not to cede any part of Dagbon for the convenience of creating new regions and reiterated that this position had not changed.
Right, you're on News 360 and we'll return shortly with some more news. Stay with us.
Sports news it is right here on News 360. It's Monday. My name is Thea Winyan, and of course we're starting off with that trendy story. That's the Referees Association of Ghana. They've handed 8 referees who were captured taking bribes in the investigative piece by journalist Anas Arimiyawa Anas lifetime bans. 61 other match officials who also appeared in the documentary have been suspended for 10 years. Yafusulabi has the details to this one.
Expose is still shaking things up in football in Ghana. 3 months after the public viewing of the controversial documentary, heads have begun to roll. The Referees Association of Ghana have issued a statement to hand out punishment to offenders and exonerate the ones who did not engage in any wrongdoing. The Referees Association of Ghana, in a statement, said they were acting on a complaint made by Tiger IPI that was subject to investigations. Out of the 61 who were found guilty, 8 of them have been handed lifetime bans. Among the 8 we will never see again in the center of the field include referee David Lai, Reginald Lathbridge, Samuel Suka and Dali Gagba. The other 53 have been handed 10-year bans by the association to stay away from the game. Retired referee and trainer Joseph Wellington, Eric Nantier, Dawood Radrago, Cecil Fletcher and Teresa Koyam, who have all received CAF bans, will also be absent on the Ghanaian terrain for a decade. The Referees Association of Ghana have resorted to strict punishment to clear the system of corrupt officials and restore public and club confidence in the association. 14 of the referees who were reported to the association were found not guilty and will therefore continue their work when football returns to the country soon.
All right, so all of this is just for the fact that if the football is back, we are going to be having some fair games in the Ghana Premier League. But let's still move on and get some reactions. The General Secretary of the Referees Association of Ghana, Aite Mensah, has defended the decision of RAG actions of banning and exonerating some of the Ghanaian referees who were involved in that particular investigative piece by Anas Arimiyawa Anas.
When the incident happened, the expose happened, and we requested for a copy of the tape. That had kept us long to come to this conclusion. So immediately we received a video. We gave it to a committee to work with it. And we gave them some terms of reference as to what to do. So in the nutshell, they invited almost all the referees who appear in the video for interrogation and then for them to say their part of the story, what they know about the whole incident. Video show different type of involvement of our referees. And some of them, they did not appear anywhere in the video, but their names came up. So they were also invited. Others too appeared, but you could see that they were actually not involved in any corrupt act. So these are the people that have been exonerated. It's not everybody who appear in the video actually commit a crime. That is the reason why you can see that some people have been exonerated and others have been given a life ban, others another sentence, because they all involve themselves in different ways. I hope nobody commits a crime again, because if you are thinking of somebody committing a crime and punishing him, I don't think that's the best. It's our hope and belief that the ref will take a cue from what has just happened, but everybody must comport himself or herself, so we may not have such a situation again in the future.
All right, and now let's move away from Ghana football. Let's go straight to Europe, where the UEFA Champions League is back, and it's back with a bang, because this week, when it starts, there are some crucial games you should take note of. Now, at 4:55, note, not 7 p.m., you are going to see games between Barcelona and PSV and Eindhoven, and Inter Milan versus Tottenham Hotspur. But other games that will kick off at 7 p.m. There's Club Brugge against Borussia Dortmund, AS Monaco against Atletico Madrid. There is Zvezda against Napoli. There's Galatasaray against Lokomotiv Moscow. Schalke 04 in Germany will be playing against FC Porto. And the biggest game, of course, with the teams put into perspective, there's Liverpool against Paris Saint-Germain. That should be some very, very entertaining game with the attacks that, these two sides have. All right, so that's exactly where we bring an end to the sports bulletin here on News 360. My name is Thierry, and we'll bring you more sports later at 9 p.m. on Sports Station. Keep watching TV3.
Welcome back to News 360. Let's take a look at what's making news on the international front this evening, as more than 100 people have died in floods after Nigeria's two major rivers burst their banks. The National Emergency Management Agency says heavy rains caused by the Niger River and Benue River are to overflow. President Muhammadu Buhari has authorized the equivalent of $8.2 million to aid relief efforts. Over the weekend, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency said the Benue and Niger rivers were close to reaching levels that in 2012 led to floods that killed more than 350 people. Seasonal flooding is a scourge in many communities in Nigeria and elsewhere across the region, where a growing population lacks control of new construction and a lack of good drainage infrastructure are colliding. Nigeria is by far the most populous country in Africa, but the flooding so far this year has mostly been in rural areas.
And now lawmakers from both sides of the U.S. political divide have called for a delay in the vote on the nominee for the powerful Supreme Court. It follows an allegation of sexual assault in the 1980s against President Donald Trump's pick, Brett Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh denies the allegations made by Christine Blasey Ford. Both say they are willing to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. The panel's vote on Kavanaugh is at present scheduled for Thursday. The Supreme Court often gives the final word on highly contentious laws, and its nine judges have an immense impact on U.S. political life. Both Professor Ford and Mr. Kavanaugh said on Monday they would be willing to appear.
There's more international news on our website. It's 3news.com. Stay with us here on News 360. We've got more for you shortly. Welcome back to News 360. On entertainment news this evening, we take you straight to the reality house here at Adisowe Kanda as Miriam Osei Ajmine joins us with more as the contestants join the house for Ghana's Most Beautiful 2018.
You on TV3. I'm bringing you live pictures from the Ria. Our 10 finalists for the 12th edition of Ghana's Most Beautiful. They're here, and in just a few seconds, they'll be walking on the red carpet to enter the reality complex where they'll stay for 13 weeks. Of course, we'll have our group head of marketing, Mrs. Doreen Planche, to do the ribbon cutting ceremony. We'll walk into the reality complex. It's the same complex has housed, contestants for the past 12 years. So you can do the maths. All the queens that you know have walked through this house, and usually we make the reality complex very comfortable. Then we make them feel at home and add extra pecs to it. They'll have their massage moments. They will have their ups and their downs. They will have days that they'll be pampered. There are days they'll be moody. So it means that our queens must be very, very tolerant. I am sure that they've psyched themselves up mentally, to keep up with the stress that will come with the time in the house sometimes. But it's important that we house them all in one place. That way they can be mentored. That way they can be trained to become the queen that we want them to be. Week in, week out, they will give us updates on what's happening in the house. For instance, they have to choose your own house prefect if you like. They have to choose your own leaders if you like. So it means that for those who are new to leadership, they will learn a few of those skills at the reality complex.
Welcome everyone. Thank you. How are you excited? Yes. So today is the day we've all been waiting for, right? We are going into the reality house. The fun begins, the excitement begins. So I'm going to cut the tape and walk you.
So there you have it. For those of you who are seeing them for the first time, for the Upper East region, it's represented by Portia Dunlungu, but will be known as Wick here in the competition. Upper West is represented by Nang Ruby, will be known as Noor in the competition. The Northern region is represented by Suleiman Nebia Feruza, will be known as Nabia in the competition. Bronga Half represented by Lisa Ahenkan, and she'll be known as Ohima in the house. The region is represented by Abigail Insia Afra, and she'll be known as just Afra in the competition. The Western region is represented by Deborah Amwabia Inti, also known as Adepa. The Central region will be represented by Pepe Ope Labi. You can also call her Aseda in the competition. The Volta region will be represented by Messi Jifa Nkulenu, but you can call her Jifa, of course. The Eastern region will be represented by Obing Naomi. She's also known as Abena. She would prefer that you call her Abena in the competition. And the Greater Accra region is represented by Leonora Ajin Tete, also known as Na in the competition. The journey to find out who takes over from Zainab, the reigning queen, starts from this very house. So we'll go upstairs and check out what the house looks like. It looks good from here, but it looks good. It looks better even upstairs. Come with me.
I can see the excitement is written all over you. So right now what we are going to do is choose the leader for the week. So I want you all to pick one name. Pick one. The name that you find, that person is going to be the leader for the week. What's the name? Woo! So Ohima is the leader for the week. So you can all take your seats.
All right, so here we are, our ladies. How does it feel to be in the house finally? Let me start with you. You introduce yourself and you tell me how you feel.
Okay. Good evening to the wonderful people of Ghana. My name is Suleiman Nabia Fayuza. Nabia is my stage name, and I am representing the Northern region in this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful. I feel like a supreme, like I'm so happy, excited. It's a mixed feeling. I don't know what to say, but with all due respect, I give gratitude to Allah Almighty for bringing me this far. Thank you.
And that's from the northern region. Next, the black beauty. What's your name?
Seriously, I'm Afra, representing the Ashanti region. Seriously, I don't even know what to say. Doing my dream, and it's like a dream come true. Seriously, I'm loving the place, and then I want to use this opportunity to thank God for how far He has brought me, and then to everyone who supported my dreams. Thank you.
All right, so we're expected to have 10 queens in the house today. Adepa from the western region will be joining us very soon. She's in school and she's required to get permission before she can join the finalists. So she's on her way, and I'm sure that she can't wait to get into the house and see all of the goodies the ladies are singing tonight. Let me move on and talk to some more ladies. So I'm sure you guys have seen this house on TV, and you had imaginations. Yeah. So when you were coming into the house, what did you imagine the house would look like?
I imagined the house was going to look very beautiful, full of fun, and of course there will be a lot of work to do here. So I'm hoping forward to having fun and doing the best. Thank you.
Right, and what's your name and which region are you representing?
I'm not Ruby, no, it's my stage name, and I am representing the Upper West region. Thank you.
Nice one. And you, lady?
Good evening to the people of Ghana, to the people of Upper East region. My name is Portia Wekia Danlugu. My stage name is Wekia. I'm so happy. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know. I've been seeing this house on the net, on TV, and today I'm here.
I'm sure you imagine that it's going to be a fun ride in the house. Every day you're pumped, but no, you have your hard times too. Yeah. So how do you expect to get through the hard times when they do come? Your name first and the region you represent.
I am now representing the Greater Accra region. We are actually in my region. So if the girls mess up, they will go and do the show in their region. Okay, I know times are going to be tough, but since you become focused, if you are focused to do something, you do it willingly, no matter what happens. So that is what I look after. I'm going to be very focused. That is how I'll go through the hard times.
This one, that's a warning to all of you. She says you mess up in the Greater Accra region, you go back to where you're coming from. Now, when you look back at the auditions, where did you audition? Was it Accra, Kumasi? How was it like? And having come this far, how do you feel?
At first when I came, I was so tensed. I wouldn't lie, I was very, very tense. But I quite had some interviews, so that brought me down. I saw quite a number of girls who I knew they are capable of doing it. But by the grace of God, I was the chosen one. And I'm extremely happy and grateful to God Almighty, because He is the main reason why I'm here today. So I just give all thanks to Him and the people who supported me from day one to now. They should keep on supporting Abuna. They should never forget to test Abuna to the show code 1413.
What do you think they're doing now watching you on TV?
They are praying for me. I believe they are praying for me to win, and they are voting massively.
Which region are you representing?
The Bono Ahafo region of Ghana. And the name is? Ohima. Yes.
First of all, I would like to thank TV3 for giving me this opportunity. I go by the name Jifa Nkulini, and I am representing the Volta region in this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful. Well, being in this house, it feels very excited. I feel so blessed. I feel so happy that it's a dream that has come true, and I'm grateful to God for that. Thank you.
My name is Tewa, Tewa, representing the Central region. Being in this house is beyond description, because it has been a dream to be here, and today I'm finally here. So you can imagine the excitement within. When there's an excitement within you, definitely it is evident on the outside. So you can imagine the happiness, the joy, and then everything. I'm so excited. My family in the house, please support me, pray for me, and then I'll give you nothing but the best.
Yes, we have 13 weeks of happiness and joy. So ladies, follow me to your bedrooms.
Now, this one just came in. Kweku Adoboli, a convicted former UBS trader, has been temporarily saved from deportation to Ghana. Lawyers for Kweku Adoboli, 38, who was jailed for 7 years in 2012 for 2 counts of fraud that resulted in £1.4 billion in losses, have been told they have won a temporary stay on his deportation amid fears that his removal is eyes away. Immigration Minister Caroline Noakes said in a letter that all foreign nationals sentenced to more than 4 years are subject to automatic deportation unless there are compelling reasons for them to remain. Adoboli's lawyers had lodged a judicial review and injunction against deportation on the grounds of public interest on Tuesday at 2 p.m. and by 5:20 p.m. they were told that both applications were successful until such time as the outcome of the review is determined, according to the friend and campaigner Nick Hopewell Smith. Right, there'll be more details on that story on our website, 3news.com, and also in subsequent bulletins. And that's it for this edition of News 360. Thank you for watching. I am Isa Morning.
And I'm Natalie Fort. News at 10 later this evening will simulcast on our website, 3news.com, and on 3News GH, as well as TV3 Ghana on Facebook. Thanks so much for watching. Have a pleasant evening.